So they do take kidneys for hardware. I thought it was just a meme. The things I do for GPUs and frame rates. Ooh, hello there. You would not believe what I had to do for graphics cards this year. I should probably clean this up. Be right back. Ooh. So we're back for another special build. The 3000 series RTX cards are probably the most anticipated product of the year for every tech and PC enthusiast. This is the AORUS Xtreme, and it features some very interesting innovations that I'm going to run you through. Now, first impressions, it's big. That's the first impression, and it reminds me of the good old days where hardware and boxes were all crazy looking. I really dig that. Let's open this baby up, and of course, manual. Here is the star of the show, the AORUS RTX 3080 Xtreme. And first impressions, this awesome backplate. Ooh, a lot of room for RGB, 3 8-pins for that overclocking headroom, and the screen. There's actually an LCD screen in this card that allows us to monitor temperatures and actually customize it with GIFs and text, and there's a lot of potential here. Now, the thickness, that's the first thing you see when you get a hold of this GPU. And thickness usually translates to better temperatures, but that's something we're going to test. The 3 fans in the front, all comprising of this max covered cooling technology that AORUS says can do wonders for thermal efficiency. And I can also see a lot of video outputs, 3 HDMI and 3 display ports, so a lot of room for activities, a lot of possibilities for all you multi-monitor enthusiasts out there. Also in the box, we have the AORUS mascot. This is Chibi, small action figure. Really cute, I kind of like it. Now, max covered cooling, what is it? Well, it's airflow. It's what AORUS is calling their cooling solution for this card. And the first thing you notice is very obvious. There's a lot of fans here. If you compare it to something like an RTX 3080 Founders Edition, you can clearly see the difference. And of course, more fans usually means lower temperatures, which means better performances. The 2 side fans actually stack above the middle fan. And if you compare it to something like a Founders Edition 2080 Ti, you can clearly see the dead zones of air in the spots that the fans do not cover. And with a solution such as this, the entirety of the heatsink is getting this cool air and improving thermal efficiency. In traditional GPU designs, fans tend to spin in the same direction. The central fan actually spins clockwise, while the side fans spin counterclockwise. What this allows is to give smoother airflow, reduce turbulence, and improve thermal efficiency. And also there's something that AORUS is calling the wind's claw. These are stationary fan blades that are placed next to each of the active fans, and its purpose is to better distribute the air and of course improve airflow and lower the temperatures, which is something that we all want, of course. So we have the GPU for this Halloween spooky AORUS RTX 3080 build, but do we have the parts? And I think we do. We're gonna use the Z490 AORUS Xtreme. This is a very high-end, very solid motherboard that is also quite extreme, just like the card. We're going to pair it with the Intel Core i9-10900K, and this is probably the best gaming CPU you can get. We're gonna use some very special RAM, the AORUS 4400 RAM DIMMs. We're going to use the also AORUS NVMe Gen 4 SSD, and it does have 1 terabyte, so that's enough for, I would say, 10,000 copies of Among Us, or maybe just one of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You make your pick. And we're gonna use a GIGABYTE monitor, the G34WQC, widescreen 21:9, 1440p, 144 Hz VA panel. So this is gonna look amazing. All aboard PCMR Airways. I recommend you tighten your seatbelts because you are probably going to need them. I seem to have crashed. I'm pretty sure it's not because of me, but it's the game that it's not optimized. So let's try some other games. Now the 3080 Xtreme handled these games amazingly. Consistent higher frame rates, much lower temperatures, even though the boost clocks on the 3080 Xtreme is much higher than the Founders Edition. But there's only one game that will set the benchmark. Now, why get something like an RTX 3080 Xtreme over something like a Founders Edition? There's quite a few reasons for that. First, aesthetics. I personally love how massive this GPU looks. It's a big chunk, a big boy GPU. Performance. Of course, the card that is equipped with these max covered cooling solutions does allow to achieve lower temperatures and higher speeds. This card comes overclocked from factory, almost 200 megahertz faster boost clocks than the Founders Edition, and even then it's around 10 or 11 Celsius cooler in our testing. So there's a lot of headroom to overclock, and actually AORUS just released an updated BIOS for this GPU. So this BIOS will allow you to go up to 450 watts of TGP, so that's even better. So we have the overclocking doors open to squeeze every last bit of performance. Last but not least, this awesome screen that is perhaps my personal favorite feature, that you can actually add your own custom GIFs. You can make it show temperatures, fan speeds, pretty much everything you want related to the GPU, and being able to monitor it without using external utilities or alt-tabbing. That's quite nifty, I like it. Wishing you the spookiest and happiest of Halloweens. May your frame rates be high, your temperatures very low, and team up, fight on.